it makes sense, but I don't know. I don't think anyone like real famous has been pardoned by Obama or like.
And mind you, I've never worked in like the whole like marijuana industry or anything like that. But I wonder if it's ever like that's the biggest drawback to making it a federally legal thing. That's always my thought and pondering, because it's like if they do, think about all these big time drug dealers they got on marijuana charges. Are they gonna have to let them go?
I mean, let's not forget about the fact that during Obama's run, like Doom got pretty much exiled from here because of all the rules that changed and stuff. And they made it so he couldn't even come back home. Exactly. And also, shout out to everybody. We just restarted the stream. I saw some people comment that there was a issue with the stream, so welcome to part 2 of the stream if you're watching live. But we are gonna push forward and not start over.
We were just talking about the pardons, Lil Wayne,
yeah,
Kodak.
Yeah, but like I was saying,
we haven't really talked about much.
So with the Doom thing, it's like that's heartbreaking, man. Like, how the fuck are you gonna stop homie from coming home? A place that helped build him, you know, like this was a precious home to him as well. Even though he was born out of the country, like he spent most of his life here, and he went away on tour, and then y'all locked him out while he was out.
I feel like that's just something they do just to do it. I don't know.
It's fucked up shit.
I mean, Mos Def, Yassine came, you know, he ran into some issues too.
Never forget the most recent one, 21.
Oh, yeah, they tried to kick 21 Savage out.
Oh, yeah, they tried to deport his ass.
That was wrong.
That's crazy, though. Like,
they're wrong for
like,
that.
for what, you know?
Because he's not from here, man.
Because he was lying this
from the UK.
Yeah, I mean, what would they really got from that, though?
Exactly.
But that's what they've been doing. Taking people away.
It's like to prove a point almost, but then like when it really comes to someone they need to not get in trouble, they'll like give them the get out of jail free card easy.
He brought there's 2 moves I was kind of upset with Joe Biden's inauguration was he didn't come in a tan suit. That would have been the most lit thing. For Obama to be like ridiculed for wearing a tan suit, but then Joe Biden comes out in his inauguration like, "What's up, motherfuckers?" in a tan suit. That would have been the G'est move to do. And second, he did bring that Cheesecake Factory Bible.
He did not.
That menu was fat. That Bible was the largest Bible I've ever seen in my life. That looked like I don't know if you ever played Diablo, but we got tomes back in the day, like teleport tomes. That's what it looked like. He was stashing some teleport. He's got some teleport tomes.
Oh my god!
Y'all see them Dior ones?
Who didn't, man? Everyone.
That shit.
That stole the show.
What about Bernie? What about Bernie sitting like this,
That's
bro?
everywhere. I love those memes though. People hate those memes, but I love them.
So funny.
It's crazy though. Like, I don't. That's the shit that I hope.
He just dropped a hoodie.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because he was like, since he got so memed, he dropped a hoodies that all the proceeds go to donations.
What he donated to? I forgot what he donated to. That was hard though. Bernie.
Bernie
is a real one for that.
Yeah. I don't want
capitalizing off of a meme
to become
and donating it.
The case of optics over substance, though. You know, I don't want people to be like, "Oh shit, they fresh," like, and like that's why we vote for them. No, I know you're not, but you know what I mean. I don't want the youth to be like swayed into that, because you know, kids that are 16, 17 now, they'll be eligible to vote the next time around. Sadly, and they'll be like, "Hey man, they be wearing ones and shit, man." Like, I want the work that they do to speak for their legacy more than anything. Just like we said, like, you know, that's all we can remember.
It's true. I think that politicians should be held more accountable.
Absolutely.
And for the decisions they make, because they literally shape your life, whether you know it or not. These are the people we put in office. Like, your vote is very much more powerful than you think it is. The system's corrupt, but also the system is built to the point where they don't want certain people voting. So if everyone's voting, go do it. It's just like the whole gun thing, man. People like want gun control and everything like that. But like, I guaranteed if more people of color got guns, they would be like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo.
Yeah, what's with all the gunplay?
You mean legal guns?
Yeah.
They drop off guns to the hood,
you know, and I will say I am completely okay for guns. The only gripe, and I'm going to say my one but on here, is just like you need a license to have a gun, I think if you're gonna get an assault rifle or something, you need a higher license for that. Like I have a driver's license, but I can't go drive a Mack truck right now because I don't have a commercial truck.
C.
Exactly. You need a different class. I think that would be okay because, if somebody has a handgun, they can go on a shooting spree, but they can't do Columbine. You know what I mean?
I just don't think there's a point in anyone having an AR, to be
man,
honest.
if you want the AR, but you got the license, do your thing, man.
That's true.
At least you're documented.
Exactly. They know you got
It is the scary shit about the automatic weapons, though. It's a cycle. It's all a cycle, like where it's like, people are like, and I'm not defending either side, but it's like, please gear up and be geared up out of their own energy and out of also fear, because one side can get geared up, and even if peaceful protesters aren't geared up, all it takes in their mind to justify what they're doing is one person bringing an automatic weapon.
Yep.
And like, it's just this vicious cycle.
Unless you're a
of
teenager,
like them being dangerous,
driving out of state,
us being dangerous. Oh, I know, that was crazy. Like them being dangerous, us being dangerous, them fearing us fearing them. It's this whole vicious cycle, and that's built by the system too. And that's what I mean is like, I hope,
want to divide.
Yeah, the divide just gets stronger and stronger, and I really hope that we can find more love in our hearts as we move forward. And obviously that's not easy, but that's on both ends. I was watching Samurai Champloo and the baseball episode. That's a filler, but
oh yeah, I love that.
The jokes that they make about American stereotypes they cut so deep. Where, like, for instance, when there's like, let's show them the American way, an eye for an eye. And it's like, that's where we're at right now, is everything is an eye for an eye. And I'm not saying turn the other cheek is always easy, but sometimes it shows more power, because if you don't always combat with the same energy, sometimes it creates the narrative of like, holy shit, maybe this one side is being brutal and the other side just continues to fucking take it. But that's also falls into the wrong corner too, because we don't want to just be submissive.
Right.
It's all a hard take.
Some people could say racism's been going on for 400, years. And we've been backed into this corner.
Exactly, and that's what I mean.
There's nothing left due to fight.
But fight, and that's what I mean. It's
you can
all
fight in
this
certain non-violent ways, violent ways, though.
Absolutely.
And on a side note to that, if anyone has anything that they want to talk to me about or have a conversation about my opinions on the show that I talk about, feel free to call me. DM me on the Discord. I'd be happy to have a conversation. I'm not here to argue with anyone. I'm here to talk it out and understand your point of view.
True.
And if you're not understanding my point of view, I will let you know what it is.
And we don't always get political on this show, but
hey, it's a turbulent time.
It's inauguration week.
Well, even music.
You know what I mean?
I think
music is like politics too. I mean, it's clearly mixed in with politics.
Hell yeah.
You got your
politics. Bumping my Run the Jewels.
Exactly.
Run the Jewels makes you want to run the country.
I know, for
makes
real.
You want to storm the Capitol.
You're a fool. Not in the same way. We're not spreading shit in the walls.
So speaking of that, though, real quick, I did see a funny thing saying we should have stormed the Capitol when Macklemore won the Grammy over Good Kid, Mad City, and Nothing Was the Same.
Holy
I was like,
shit.
Damn.
Oh, my God.
They should have stormed the stage is what they should have done.
He really did win over those fucking albums, bro.
Oh my
Nothing Was the
God.
Same and Good Kid, Mad City. And there's another one that was really good. That got
I can't, bro. I can't. That's the only thing that's worse than that.
That's
is
like the
J. Cole
snub.
calling out that Iggy Azalea would get a fucking Grammy nom before himself, and guess what? She fucking did. That was some bullshit, bro. But yo, let's get into some music talk, man. I kind of want to save the Oz. You guys want to do the Oswin album first or the Nyck Caution album?
We can do the Nyck one first.
We can do whatever.
Let's go on Nyck.
Yeah, let's start with the Nyck. We said, what's wrong with Nyck? Let's start with Caution then, man.
Proceed with caution.
Yo, I'm gonna let Jeff run this because I think you got more listens on this than I did.
Oh man, so it was really my first deep dive into Nyck. Pause, but that is just it was a really good way to get into it. This album was really personal. I don't know, like. I know there's like a meme like, oh, daddy issues, but like I think that is more so toward people who don't have dads that aren't just girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Me and my dad don't have the strongest relationship, and so with that being said, I think if I didn't have so many uncles and older cousins and not a positive male role model, a lot of them in my life, I don't know where I would have been shaped up to be. But with that being said, the album itself is his first project since losing his father. And I think he really put it out there, put his emotions on the sleeve, and it's cool to go from there. There's some mixed stuff in here, but we can kind of go like track by track.
It happened
if you
in
want.
2015. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to see, 6 years of
You can't put
those feelings.
can't put
You
a
can't put a time on that though.
No, I'm not saying you can never.
He's 27 now.
Yeah.
So he was, 21, 22 when it happened.
I shoot a prayer to my grandma and grandpa every day.
Shoot, man, I shoot prayers to your grandpa sometimes, man. I knew that fool too.
That's what I'm saying.
That was
every
the
day.
man. That was the garden lord.
It was.
Yo,
And
so
this was his debut too, right?
no, he's got a one project on his own and another project
Debut album?
with, I don't know if the other one was a mixtape or album, and he's got another project with why am I thinking Kirk Knight. They did the Nyck at Night album.
Nyck at Night.
That shit was not slapping.
Did it?
Front.
Oh man.
He said it didn't.
Well, just because
the name, bro.
Bro, y'all remember Nyck and Night?
Old pro era
Of course.
stuff I did like.
Of
I
course, I
Love
remember Nyck
Lucy.
at Night.
Babalu, Baba.
It did not slap as hard as Adult Swim though.
Oh man. Well, no, duh, because it's like I Love Lucy and like
Yeah, they tried to
Bewitched
go hard
and
with
stuff
that.
like that.
Uh-huh.
They go up with the old stuff.
So starting straight from the jump though, man. December 24th. I did love the intro. That shit was heartfelt.
It was a better intro.
And it was just like, damn, like it teed up what I thought the rest of the album would be like. And it was so personal that like, even though he wasn't barring out, he was just telling his truths. Like, I remember listening it the first time. I was like, hey, you showed up at your dad's and there was police there. And I thought at first, like, oh, your dad's getting arrested. And then I was like,
That's what I
oh,
thought,
no, the house is fucking closed because your dad passed. And to show up at that moment, like, could you imagine the emotional moment of showing up, being like, what are y'all doing here?
Crazy.
And then being like, oh, are you so-and-so's son? And being like, oh my God, yes.
To get that news from someone else,
Like-
the
Whoa.
cops especially, it's just
to
like,
And
come off a tour.
To come off a tour, come from a highlight. He was probably coming to talk to his dad and tell him about those
it.
moments. You know what I mean? And like, I talked to my dad. We had a rough past, and we didn't talk from like 14 to like 20. And we had to work through that rough patch. And it's funny because hip hop also got me to talk to my dad again. I listened to Yesterday by Atmosphere, and if y'all haven't heard that song, it's like, yesterday was that you, look just like you, strange things my imagination might do. And it's like the whole first and second verse, he's talking about thinking he sees his dad and like appreciating him but having a hard relationship with him. And then at the end he talks about like that couldn't be you because he passed away, and not knowing when his dad passed and not having those conversations he always wished he did, and not burying what he wished he buried. And that song made me be like, holy shit, man, like what if my dad passed and I didn't know, and my stepmom just didn't tell me, and like it just got hidden from me because we were on such backgrounds. And that made me clear it up. So I tell my dad about all kinds of highs and lows now. So like when I listened to the intro to this album, I was like, damn, how the fuck would I react?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's
in their
crazy.
shoes.
It's like they're literally like half of you.
Exactly.
You're half of them, essentially. So
Absolutely.
wouldn't
And
be
that's
here.
crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, if that happened, I'm really glad you reconnected with your father. I was there as your little cousin, kind of overseeing all that, and as saying that, being someone who wasn't really close with their own father, the song really did hit though.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to think, I'm actually really glad that I'm reconnecting with my father as of now. To think that not having that connection made, I'm glad Nyck was connected with his father when it happened.
Yeah.
It'd just be like a big hole, bro, that you can never fill.
Bro, the voice message from his dad on the album
Sick.
fucking hits.
Gave me goosebumps.
I was like,
almost,
damn,
bro.
what the fuck? Like really, really hits. And I know, like, Jeff, I know you've got a roller coaster relationship a little bit with your pop too. So, like, I know this is an album that
We're all mama's boys,
you
man.
were able to give a little more depth diving.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't so much, I think, about the barring out. I think it was more so about the emotional content and the rawness.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. When he said he gave me everything that I needed to fly, so I guess it makes sense that he sees me from the sky. I was like, yo,
That's tough.
That was
yeah,
hard.
I did like that bar a lot. And see, that's where I think the album shines, man, is I didn't, I'm gonna be honest, and we'll get into it a little more. I think some of the quote-unquote lyricism was a little mids.
Yeah.
I think the emotional rawness was high tier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like that reminds me of like Common, you know. And I think the only reason that it shines, that some of the lyrical content, not from the intro but moving forward, was a little bit like, man, I don't know, you could do better, was because he constantly talks about his lyricism.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, 10,000 hours, like, you know, talking about all this, like, being studious to the craft and all this. And, like, I'll get into it a little more, but he kind of came off a little too OG on this shit. And I'll tell my opinions on that, too, but super strong intro.
Yeah.
I love the intro.
Yeah.
Like, I got nothing to say other than that.
There's nothing to, not much more to say to it. He definitely showed his emotions very well. It was weird because he would drop these gems, like OG gems, but I'm like, you know, when you get advice from somebody, but you need to hear it from somebody else.
Yeah.
And I just felt that way sometimes. Like sometimes he hit really well, and other times I'm like, why would you tell me that? It's kind of like on 444 when Jay was doing all that.
Conscious
I was like,
shit.
it's like, yo, man, I it's cool, but like, where was this 10 years ago?
For real. You've been talking all that shit for a minute, being like, I can bar out when I want. Which is an interesting thing. I'm not trying to...
Oh, yeah, he bars out, but he's just...
he barring out. I'm not trying to hate on the legacy, but, you know, Jay's whole infamy is funny. I watched this interesting video with Ski Beats and Alchemist. And Jay's whole, like, lineage is like, oh... he don't write, da-da-da-da. And the video is not very widespread, so I don't think, I literally looked at the YouTube comments to see if anybody else was tripping on that moment, but not Ski, it was Alchemist and Just Blaze. And Just Blaze was like, yeah, man, when I made,
That sounds like,
he's
him.
like, yeah, man, when I made the, what is it? Not You Don't Know, but Hovey Baby. He was like, you know, Jay sent me the writtens. And I was like, Jay sent you the writtens?
Yo.
And I was like,
Jay writes?
what the fuck? He sent you the writtens? What about his legend?
Freestyle on every
What about his
song,
legend?
bro?
I know, and that's the thing, is that I'm realistic about that. But it's created this infamy and this crazy bar that everybody thinks ain't real.
He really just goes in the booth and really just bars out.
Well, that's what
like,
I thought. He,
no,
like, from
bro.
my understanding this is my understanding
I
of
don't think
Jay.
anyone
Up
could do
until I was told, you know, we had this conversation offline about this. Up until I saw this, I thought this is what he did, was just bar out and literally remove the bars that didn't go. And you saw it in, like, the Black Album movie, the documentary thing. You remember that?
Yeah.
He was like...
That's not to say that he doesn't do it sometimes, though.
Well, yeah.
I was gonna say, if he set the written, sorry for interrupting, but like he might have freestyled that written and then just wrote it.
That's what I was trying to
You know,
tell
Or
Sir the
someone
benefit
else,
of the
he's
doubt.
okay.
He's like,
That was,
he's like, someone write this for me. That way
Right.
he technically ain't writing it. He's
Yeah.
like, someone just write it for me.
Or maybe
I'm
he was
just-
fucking with the app that records you while you...
Man, that was so long ago.
I'm
What
just
happened?
joking. I'm
His
joking.
side, he's like, pull out your sidekick. I got boss.
But he,
Yo, I was actually gonna talk about December 4th with Jay's mom. Before I get into that, though, shout out Lawrence13 commented in the live stream, you know, that he lost his mom 9 years ago, and
Sorry to hear that.
I am sorry to hear that, bro. And ain't no time limit on those emotions, and he's writing a song about it, and shout out to you, man. Shout out to Lawrence sharing that piece of information, because, you know, it's definitely very personal, but I'm grateful that he's willing to share that experience, because it's exactly that, man. Like, you can't put a time limit on it, man. Like,
Well, yeah,
my
that almost
dad,
makes sense. How long? I mean, you probably wouldn't want to. Right after someone like a parent passed, you probably wouldn't
couldn't
want
do
to
it right away.
Yeah, exactly. So now that I
Exactly.
say that, it kind of makes sense.
my dad is just now starting to unravel his emotions about his pop passing, and his pop passed like a year before I was born.
Well, it's
So that, you know, that's
masculinity
28 years
thing.
ago.
I'm pretty positive too within your family. Like us guys, like
For the Cambodian side, absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Like, you know, we like there's a lot of I want to call it emotional stuffing, where it's like, put it to the side if you're a man,
yep,
but that's not right either.
yeah.
And that's something that I've tried to work on in myself, is my emotional vulnerability. And my dad is actually now older than his dad when he passed. So I tell him all the time. I had to have a hard conversation with my dad, being like, "Have you written your will?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, I need to do that."
Yeah.
And I was
I think everyone should.
absolutely,
Puts things in perspective, because we're all gonna go one day.
absolutely, and it's no joke. Like it's sad, but it's the process of life.
Yeah.
Like,
See you on the other side.
In a perfect world, everyone who meets passes on the same day at the same time. But guess what? This ain't the Notebook, and we don't get to fall asleep in each other's arms, man. Like, it's just the saddest truth. Is continuation is what makes being connected special at all.
Yeah.
Like, if we weren't gonna leave each other eventually, we wouldn't appreciate the times that we have with each other.
Of course.
Because it'd be like, oh, I have forever with you.
Yeah.
But you know, at any moment, and Jeff, I think you and I are strong about this. And you know, Nyck, living together, it's something that I would talk to you about. Is like, I always want to leave on good terms with my people.
Yeah.
Like, even when we argue,
Of course.
because like, I get struck by lightning. People get struck by lightning. You know, people, shit, man.
Car
I
accidents.
walked hella late in my neighborhood last night, and I was like, damn, man. Sometimes the coyotes come out, and I was like, what if I fucking ran into a coyote? I was like, oh, scrap it. I'm throwing
I'm not
hands.
going out to no
I'm
coyote,
throwing
bro.
hands. I'm like, you ain't getting me, fam.
Headlock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put it to sleep and run.
Exactly. I ain't even trying to kill you. I don't want to do this.
Just choke it out. Just choke it out.
Like,
No, I be having some really dark like ideas. Like, oh, I'm walking down the street and like this car could just be a maniac fool and just fucking
Yeah.
hit me.
Well,
oh, I mean, I almost, there was a drunk
shit
driver
happened.
ahead of me that was swerving double lanes the other day, and I backed up quick.
Right.
I was like,
you don't
hell
know what's he gonna
no. And I
what
took
he's
the
gonna
exit
do.
early
Yeah.
instead of the one that I was due for, because I was like, you know what, I'll take the back roads. This fool, I don't want to lose my life.
You know, back in the day when we'd party and then come back over to the west side, like I remember on the Ross Island Bridge, I decided I decided that I wasn't going to drink that night, which is very rare back in my days.
Very rare.
And I was like, I'll be DD. And me and Leticia were driving back. It's probably like 3 in the morning. I'm crossing the Ross Island Bridge.
Go ahead, bro.
So we're westbound. You know how the Ross Island Bridge goes? Like when you're going westbound, you veer right to go through downtown to get back onto 26.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Milwaukee. Yeah.
I was in that right lane. A car came from that way.
Yo, and you had to fishtail.
Yeah, and I was like,
oh
whoa.
my God,
And
bro.
we got to wait. Like
I remember that.
But I was like, if I wasn't the one driving, or if I would have been a little bit inebriated, or
Your
Leticia,
reaction time
you know what I
might
mean?
not have been that fast.
We just went head on.
Whew.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You saw a car come at you head on, bro.
Yeah, I was like, but
Oh
from a place it shouldn't have
That,
been.
like a one way.
A one way.
Yeah,
Oh
where
my
you shouldn't have had to even have that alarm up.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
But you
Yo,
know, shout out, man. Anytime, man.
It wasn't your time, bro.
I think
Wasn't
something
your guys'
special that people underappreciated in the Black Album was December 4th. That's one of my favorite Jay songs. And, you know, Lawrence, like, thank you again for sharing, man. Like, what you said about your mom made me think about that song, about the importance of that song. Like, a lot of people don't know, speaking of Jay making freestyle moments, he called his mom and told her that she just needed to stop by for something. And he, you know, he gave her his address and didn't even tell her, like, oh, this is the new studio. And she recorded that shit on the spot. He showed her the song without those vocal recordings and just goes, why don't you go in the booth and say something, ma? And she was like, what? And he was like, just go in there, say something.
All right, son.
And she said all that shit
Yeah.
off the dome.
he
On
got
her
the freestyle
shit. Just
shit
like the
from
mental
her.
mom freestyle. And that's something.
What was it?
She like talks about like
She
the
gave me
boom
no
box,
pain.
talks about his birth being no pain, even though he was the heaviest. And that's how I knew he'd be a special boy. Like
Yeah.
all this shit, bro. Like it's so hard. And talking about like
That's
he
real.
changed after the split between me and my husband and I, and they split it all. They chopped it all up and cut it between all the cuts. And bro, that's one of his illest songs. And I think people love to, you know, post it on December 4th, but I don't think people are really listening to the special vibe that's going on. In
Yeah,
there,
people
man.
need to give these date songs a little more of a listen
Context.
Yeah,
listen
man,
to,
because like
yeah.
that is not some light shit. Like he went in, you know, when he's like, you can't respect that. Your whole perspective is whack. Maybe they'll love me when I fade to black.
to. That was supposed
Like-
to be his last album.
It was, bro. And if it had been his last album, could you imagine the impact? Even still, like to this day, people would be like, damn, bro, Jay ain't rapping no more.
It would have been an MJ thing though.
Mm-hmm. He would. Yeah,
That's why he probably came back.
Yeah, he's like, I'm back. Wizards era.
But you know, he did a little bit better than the Wizard era.
Oh, absolutely.
Magna Carta, Holy Grail, freaking American
Way
Gangster. Can you
better.
imagine if you would have gotten American Gangster role over freaking? I know it wouldn't have been the same.
Over
but,
Denzel?
Yeah.
No,
I know.
but he did the soundtrack, bro. That's
he did the
classic as
He
fuck.
didn't do the soundtrack. He did that album. That wasn't a soundtrack.
Yeah, you're right. That's the album. But
Because he couldn't get the role.
that is the soundtrack
That's
to
hard,
me, though.
I can't get this role.
That's the
right.
soundtrack to me, though.
Yeah.
I'm cool with
He's,
that, bro.
He's on there with the suit and everything like that.
So I mean, bro, that's the sound. If that's not your soundtrack for it, you're tripping.
Yo, but
Rock Boys, bro. Rock Boys in the building
building.
tonight, bro. In the video for it, where they found the kid that looked like a young Jay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, we're getting on a tangent. Let's go back to Nyck Caution. The first two songs, the Anywhere But Here and Motion Sickness, bro, I love them. Like I really wholeheartedly fucking love the vibe. Anywhere But Here, like, and Motion Sickness, they were just a perfect blend. And Jeff, maybe you could speak a little bit more on that, because you know this album I feel like really touched you a little bit more in terms of especially because of the amount of rotations you got in with it.
Yeah.
But if you want to go ahead and lead that, man.
I think Anywhere But Here was a good one. The notes I had on that was the bar was ain't nobody thinking anymore. Come to grips with how I lost some people close to me and probably gonna lose many more. And I'm just like, you're right. You know what I mean? Because like you do lose these close people in life, right?
Yeah.
But think about the people you have close, and you never think about the impact of losing
they're
them
gone.
until they're actually gone.
Yeah.
And that shit is fucking weird. And it kind of just puts that's what I'm saying. Like there's certain gems in here that I'm just like, fuck.
Oh yeah, especially speaking on that bar, he has a lot of those kind of. They're not the most top-notch lyricist type bars.
They're emotional drops,
They're
though.
very emotional and touching to you, and that's almost why I like and dislike the album.
Because you wanted him to bar out.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But it was way more raw than I expected.
Way more, and that's kind of threw me off. I'm not gonna lie. The Nyck Caution that I know was the, talking shit, young pro era dude that wasn't in the main spotlight like Steez and Joey. But
he was the feature verse.
He was like the hardest one though. He was like one of my favorites. Right when I heard, I'm blanking right now. His first mixtape, bro, from Pro Era. I don't even know what it's called. So long ago. But once I heard that, I knew he was like one of my favorites from Pro Era.
Not because it's your name.
That might have been putting it a little bit
just wants
into
to get you-
perspective, and I've never heard someone named Nyck spelt like that. NYCK.
That is hard.
Hard.
Yeah.
I might have to change my name to spell like that.
Yeah,
bro.
you're a fool.
Just want to get
NICKs.
them know, man.
Yeah, and also Motion Sickness. I really fucking like that track too, man. Like, I think there was a cohesiveness in those first three tracks, especially I would be sick to my stomach, and I get that. Like, what he's talking about how he's feeling. I think it could have called it emotion sickness instead of just motion sickness. Because I think that's really at the root of it. What he's really talking about is like life gets to moving so fast. Like how can you even keep up?
Emotion. Yeah, that's a good name for that.
Yeah,
That'd be dope.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
already know if you wrote any of your favorite lyrics from that. But
I did not. I'm sorry.
it was a perfect example of kind of what we're talking about though, where it's like he's not really barring out, so there weren't
Nothing
quite
notable, but yeah.
it wasn't
feel
quite
it.
quotable, but emotional was the best way to put it.
I didn't think he would come out this emotional, but
I thought you had to.
after
After
all
the intro,
things,
I was kind of like,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
gauged for it.
But skipping in, I will say I wasn't a fan of every skit. The first skit, the Vin skit one, that was okay. How You Live It though,
Did you guys like it?
no.
You guys like the music video?
I like the
No.
music video.
I didn't like it either.
I like both. I'm not gonna
Really?
lie.
All right,
Yes,
I'll let you lead it.
I like both. I mean, I think so like I said before, the lyricism wasn't really there, but it was almost like they were talking shit about, all the things they had and basically how you live it, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like the Joey verse as much. I
Bro,
wish Joey would
I
have came
just-
way harder, and honestly, I'm
All
throwing
of
shade right now, bro. Joey, put your
Yeah,
promote them,
what's up
bro.
with CJ Fly?
Like,
He killing.
like I've heard a lot of things about Joey and like the fucked up things he did with Steez's family. Like I hope to pray to God that's not true.
Yeah,
but it really
man,
seems
the
out of all the
Steez holding
things,
the money,
bro.
and
Yes,
Capital Steez album is out there somewhere,
and he's holding it because he's a
somewhere.
fucking coward. No,
I don't know,
No,
man. It's business that we don't want to.
I was just playing about that.
But it's business,
but for
and
real.
the fucked up shit though is that Steez don't ever care about the business. Y'all should just release that and give all proceeds to
don't
suicide.
care about the money.
To like some
Suicide
suicide
awareness.
fucking awareness. Exactly, man. Because we should have never lost Steez, man. Like. I was reading this like New York Times article on like 10 artists influenced by Doom, and honestly, they kind of fucked that list up. But I couldn't believe they didn't put Steez on there. Like literally, he starts his mixtape with all caps in his version. Like that shit is crazy to me. But man, I don't know, man. How you live it? It got me weird straight from the first bar. That's said,
exactly what I said. It's weird.
I dropped the bag off early morning. I jack off.
It's the energy. The energy was just way too.
I'm like, what are you gonna talk about on the album?
It's real emotions,
I mean,
real
I-
raw.
I
You want that
guess.
real raw?
Ours were the not bitch, I'm still me. This is just the chill me. Get it, nigga hot. That's when you see the real me. That's like, bro, that's so weak to me. Lyrically. And the thing is, I feel like Joey saves all of his bars. And like, it's like, I don't know, man. You top tier if you can't bar out on everything you touch.
Yeah.
Like,
You should be able to bar out on
oh,
everything.
but that's the thing that leads back to the speculation and
like
shit. And I
lazy
ain't trying to
bars.
say nothing.
Lazy bars.
But you know, Dime a Dozen and him got into it over the Capital Steez shit, and you know, some people have said like, hey man, his bars have been notably weaker since Steez passed. His flow is all there.
Steez was writing for boy.
That's something people speculate, and I don't want to throw it in the air because, like I said, speculation is just speculation.
Or giving him a bunch of ideas.
I mean,
A bunch
ideas
of
might be even it. Exactly. I've been in the session with people who have definitely barred me up. And what I mean by that, they've been like, hey, consider cutting this consider cutting this word out. And like, they are not writing for me, but they're like, hey, yeah, that's hot or that's not. And you know, when you are the leader and everyone sits under you, but Steez was there neck and neck with you, it makes you want to be better. So even if he wasn't writing for him, maybe he was pushing him to want to write on that level. Like you know, like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
the
Steez
money
was
was saying,
saying
like
somebody on your ass.
exactly,
to
someone on
really-
your ass on that Wu-Tang
burn
shit.
it up.
When Wu-Tang was writing 36 Chambers, they had no issue being like, the fuck was that verse, bro? That was weak as fuck.
Yeah.
Spit that again. In the same way that Kanye is like, nah, man, to Pusha 3 times on Runaway.
It was more than that, right?
It was, I think it might have been, but how are you gonna tell Pusha T to write better?
You can do better.
You can do better. Nah, man, I don't know. You can do better. And it's that shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
I hate to go off on a tangent.
Cap was always spitting though. 8 million ways to die. My nigga choose one. Doomsday come and start investing in a few guns.
He
Like,
outbarred Joey though.
oh, always.
Always.
Absolutely
I don't even
always.
think he was neck and neck bar wise.
It wasn't neck and neck at all. Absolutely, you're right.
Speaking about Pusha, y'all hear about Pusha and someone posted some podcast. Other
Someone
podcasts
posted
Freddie Gibbs and
they
Pusha
should do a versus, and Freddie reposted
Fuck
it,
a
being
versus.
like, "Fuck a
I'll
versus,
make
do
the
an
album though. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was like. Coke Boy
Bro.
album, bro. The real true.
They
Coke
could
Boys.
literally just name the album Brick, and it would go so hard.
so hard.
Like,
I mean, y'all hear the song on Bandana by them,
yes.
and
But okay, so before we keep talking, who produces that album? I'm saying Hit Boy.
who produces that album
Yeah,
if
who
it ever
produces
comes
the
out?
album?
That is a good.
I'm saying Hit Boy.
I mean, him or Alchemist or
I would actually.
Madlib.
I'd ask Ye, especially if he's coming off this divorce.
I don't know, man.
Yo, push it.
he
Yeah,
get
have this.
divorced?
But
off
it's
of
not
live
about
TV.
pushing Ye though. I think it's more important about Freddie.
I think Freddie goes on whatever though.
That's true. That's a compliment.
Whereas Pusha,
That's a compliment. Pusha might need the pampering a little more.
Not
Not pampering.
All right, yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what I
That's
mean.
what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah, and not pampering because he's bad, but he's a little more selective with his beats. You're right. Okay, I think you're right because Freddie has rapped on Madlib beats you
He'll
never
rap on
expected to
anything.
hear him about. He'll rap on anything, bro.
A Ye produced Gibbs and Push album.
That would go down in history.
I would.
Probably one of the
Especially
greatest
after a
albums of all
divorce.
time.
Yeah, he would probably try to get on the track.
You know, Ye's making music right now. He's about to drop some heat.
Rapping
Probably.
about the yay while we over some yay.
What You Want, it really had another jam bar.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No
we'll,
worries.
we'll get into there. What if they did the project with Kanye, and the project was actually just called Ye, because they talking about that yayo?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Oh fuck,
Hey,
that's
give,
dirty.
gives Pusha.
Hey, y'all
Kanye,
need
if
to make
y'all-
the album called Ye.
If y'all hear this, bro, listen to this man's, bro. His marketing ideas
I'm telling
are
you.
genius.
Pusha T, Freddie Gibbs, Kanye West. The album is just called Ye. Y-A-Y. That's what the
I was
fuck
gonna say,
I'm
don't
saying.
do Y-E because that's just like
That's
promoting
too much
Kanye.
Ye.
Too much Kanye.
Exactly.
He's
Like,
not even rapping.
Yeah,
on it.
yo. That's what I'm saying. Come on, dog.
Oh, that's a fire ass idea.
All right, though. You were getting the next one. How
I'd say
you,
What You Want. People hate you for the same things they love you. They love it's just packaged another way, which is true because it does come from the same place. It's a weird, but that like if somebody else would have said that, it would have hit better. Like Marlon Craft would have said that.
oh, man. So, okay. Let me say, after Motion Sickness, I feel like How You Live It, What You Want, and Dirt on Your Name, and Vince Get number 2 could have all been taken off the album.
You know, like Dirt on Your
You didn't
Name?
like any of those?
Yep.
And Vince Get number 2?
Yep.
That was a perfect lead into the
I
next
hate it,
song after that.
But I thought it was corny. It was like, I got
think it
the,
was
I got
funny.
the chicken curry, I got the da-da-da, and I got
That's
Denzel
that's not what it
curry.
is, though.
I didn't
like
think
that.
they
He
needed
did
that,
go
though.
I think they went.
I didn't think it needed to be its own thing. I was like, I mean, whatever.
That's funny that you say that because
dog.
What
Like,
You Want like was kind of, I don't know.
I'm happy Gashi got some shine.
I was
like
gonna say,
Gashi.
I like Gashi,
I like Gashi a lot.
and that was maybe one of my favorite songs.
Really? So, okay, let me lead back what you said.
Besides other two
These
that are
other
coming.
tracks sound like he's trying to be like a Marlon Craft.
Yo, but Dirt on Your Name when he goes, I know we work on the craft. Is there a heaven for us hip hop heathens that still didn't crack? It's true, man. Like if you want sales, like, and you're not really digging deep like we dig,
Okay.
are you really getting the knowledge?
Let me dive into that. Because especially after all that, we get into Bad Day with Denzel Curry. That's what's got me irked up think about the album.
You don't like that song either?
No, I'm cool with that song,
Okay.
but it's the in-between. Because he's talking mad shit about the new school artists, about the trap shit, about the Lils. He does a bar in those one of those tracks that's about like the Lil rapper named Lil and stuff. And that's my thing is like, you coming off too old, man. You only 27.
Yo, but sometimes you feel that way, man.
But it don't matter because, you know, I remember the interview where Joey was like, we're not making 90s hip hop. We're making what we make now. Now y'all coming off like some Joe Buttons.
yeah,
You know,
True.
and coming off too old. You not old, man, especially when rappers like Conway and stuff and Black Thought are resetting the gap of what's old.
And they're not
and
even
they're
old.
barring the fuck out. And they've really reached their 10,000 hours, and you can tell.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're going to say all that stuff, talk about the new school, the old school, talk like an OG, be like, you know, he's got one song, that's not in those three, but, you know, one of the songs he's talking about, everybody want to make everyone TikTok. Like, it's like, come on,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
I
TikTok is like social media shit. Like, there's always going to be new social media. Like, don't be an old man like that. And then the Denzel track, that's a straight up trap beat.
yeah.
Hardo 808s, rolls.
But it
you got the
goes.
man Denzel on it. It does go, but it feels condescending.
Get the money, bro. Go home.
Yo,
I-
Yeah.
yeah.
It feels
I don't know.
condescending
That-
on his
I didn't
old
really
man
like that
shit,
part.
talking about all of it and then getting on a track like
My
that
favorite part was he's like, I've been over heads like Anne Frank, and I was like,
in the fucking attic. Come on,
they
man.
didn't know though. But he also brought up this Alizé bar, and I don't know if y'all had Alizé. Y'all ever had Alizé?
That is a very OG drink that I have not
Nah.
partaken in.
All right, you're Filipino.
I heard
you're,
Snoop Dogg talk about Alizé, so I know that shit OG.
you're Cambodian. Have you had Hennessy and Hypnotic together?
Well, of
Obviously.
course.
The Hulk, right?
Yes.
But have you had Hypnotic by itself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Terrible.
It's
terrible.
It's like Mad Dog. It's like the
Terrible.
same thing.
What do you
Uh,
mean? Hennessy and Hypnotic's horrible. That is disgusting.
Yeah, that's disgusting
It's
too.
So
Tried
bad.
that. That's
Really?
disgusting.
Yes.
They both disgusting.
The Incredible
fam.
Hulk. That
Yeah,
is
Hulk.
just.
But if
bro,
you have
give me something else.
Henny Privilege, like the Priv,
The Priv?
not like the regular Hennessy, just like, oh, it's only $10, $20
Man, I'm a
more.
Remy homie.
I love Remy.
I ain't with
even
the
with
Henny
Remy,
no more.
even with Remy though, you gotta spend a little bit more for the 1738,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah,
so worth it.
baby.
Yo, people might not even know what you just said.
Oh my God, Fetty Wap is gone.
Fetty Wap is
What
not.
happened to bro?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Oh my God.
Him and his one eye.
Mr. Sharingan.
Him.
Byakugan.
If I was him, I'd get a fake
A
Sharingan, bro,
fucking
or
Rinnegan?
or a Rinnegan. Yeah, bro.
Oh my God. But
Yeah, and that's kind of all I had to say about the album. It's even like I don't.
and then that you know it would have been a 10-track album. And
Itself. I mean, do you guys have anything else to say about it?
nah, as a whole, I'm not mad at it. I think there was some shit that didn't need to be on it. I think it's you know, is what it is, man. I think the songs that really hit emotionally were great. I think the showcase of lyricism though was a little bit missing the mark.
Yeah, it was lacking.
Yeah. So
I mean, even on a track where he should have barred out on like Bad Day, or you know, things that you expected him to, not only, I mean, if only touch you emotionally, but like bar the fuck out. You know?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
coming
So-
from like, I'm guessing all of us knew who Pro Era was before, you know, when they first started coming up, when Steez was alive, rest in peace. Like coming from their era, a little bit more
certain level.
bar wise from
Yeah.
these
Certain
cats.
level.
But I get it. It was a personal thing. It was a
But
personal project.
It being a personal album, more or less, I kind of give it the pass, and for that, I give it a 3 for my rating.
yeah.
If I was to rate it,
I'll give it 3.25. I almost didn't want to give it a rating because it was it seemed such a personal project.
right? I hate to give it a rating,
Um,
but that's what we do. Things.
I do think that he hit a lot, but he also had some misses, so it can't be a fifth. Like
Yes. Let's get into that, man. So
Without further ado,
let's get into that for real. Like, so
Wizard of Oz.
for y'all that do not, so in the first time I was introduced to Oswin was on Chris Rivers' project. You guys okay with me playing a little freestyle from Oswin real quick?
go
Let
ahead.
me find that real quick.
While you're
man.
looking it up, I forgot to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about the ad, y'all. I'm pulling up this video.
Contest back in 2016 or 2015 that kind of
Blew him up.
put him on the map, and ever since then, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about the ad, y'all. I'm pulling up this video.
Well, while you're saying
because-
that, when an album just find it flat out corny sometimes.
But no, bro, he ain't corny on here.
He was not corny.
Two type of boats, and I was told you gotta choose one. It's album sales or relationships, my nigga. Or you could do both if you got the strength to back. Murdering any beat that I see, nigga. Raising a bar.
Old song.
That shit.
Scratch.
That's
what it is.
The white boy with the one leg up. That was the shooter.
Yeah, but Scratch was just killing him.
We ain't even fixing the life. We so worried about this wall, we ain't even fixing the pipes. Look, I ain't political. I'm just a god with a sinner's view. Ridicule for how the spirit move. You ever seen a survivor through a Robin Williams type of depression? Well, his dead poet is living proof. I did my dirt on a come up though. A Doug trio skied it, left mayonnaise on some patties. A Doug trio.
I love how he uses different words that mean different things.
The same for any little nigga trying to politic and build Danny. Get the veto. I've been the type of y'all knows to speak life to a Vigo. Paint the picture so real, no way you don't touch the people. I remember getting suspended in 7th grade for indecent exposure. I couldn't care at all. So showing my ass ain't nothing new to me. Pause. I ain't got a problem bearing it all. Fake jerseys,
Bearing
fake
it
products,
all.
more and more. Watching Drive the Marbury and all the letters came off. But now
Man, I wasn't gonna play the whole thing, but I mean, how can I not keep it going? He's just rocking.
When I close eyes,
Yeah,
oh my,
he's
this
killing
that's
this
through the long
freestyle.
flow without the cosign. Close pins,
Five
hang your
Fingers
eyes
of
out,
Death,
polo,
too.
clothesline.
He does
Hard.
not.
Yeah, he did way more than 5. I already
Nine
counted.
beats.
9 beats. That's
Yes.
9 fingers of death.
His mic ran out. I'm gonna cut it off there because his mic. It's funny. His mic disconnects and he just keeps rapping. Literally, just keeps rapping off the dome. because he's like, fuck, I can't
You
kill the
stop.
flow.
Yeah.
Exactly, bro. Like,
5. Yeah. When I hit 5, I was like, oh, he's done. No.
we're like, nope, he's
Sway
not
was like,
done.
let's see how long this boy can
He's
go.
like, let's just keep him going. So, if y'all haven't been listening to Oswin Benjamin, quit sleeping. And I'm gonna say straight off the jump, yo, this album's incredible.
Really good. Really good.
I think it's crazy coming from the Nyck Caution album and into this. Both very, very personal projects. But this is the showcase of exactly what I had hoped. Obviously not this tier of rapping because I was a little familiar with Oswin already. And so it's not technically his debut. He had a project before. But it feels like a
debut.
It feels like, exactly, it feels like a butterfly moment of like, yo, we're fucking here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm full-fledged, like fulfilled and complete as an artist, and I'm ready to be heard.
Yeah.
And for it to be such a touching project, the intro straight out the gate really gets into some heartfelt feelings that I really love. Like, looking for joy, opening the Psalms with some sweat in my palms and tears on cheek. I'm reading, looking for joy. Like he's chasing this energy after losing someone so near and dear to him.
Losing a best friend is almost, I don't know. It's I'm not gonna say it's worse than losing a parent because that would be not true, but it's a very different type of pain.
Yo, I don't think I can compare it because obviously I haven't
can't.
lost my parent yet, but I have lost a best friend, and this is my 3rd year without my boy Wyatt, and like life feels different every year still, like it really does.
Yeah.
And I don't want to jump ahead in songs. The intro, it was great. It was heartfelt, but there's a song on the album called "Talking to God." And he says, like, I need my boy way more down here than you do up there.
Yeah.
And like that, yo, like I shed some tears to that song this week because I'm just like, damn, bro, like I never heard a song that really encapsulated everything I felt about losing the homie,
He
about
said-
being like, what'd you say?
He said he was like, is he MIA? Like him being MIA? Or
Oh, yeah.
me being MIA? Or am I MIA?
Exactly. And it's hard to feel like I'm talking to God when it feels like he's MIA. Like, and like that, like it's rare that the chorus is what hits me the most. He's like, sometimes I pray, feel like my prayers feel on deaf ears. I need my boy way more down here than you do up there. And he's like, hard to speak my peace when it feels like you MIA. And it's like, sometimes it does feel just like hopeless on earth. You know what I mean? Whether you're religious or not. And sometimes that's how I feel to the whole position of like, damn, man, like, when you lose someone like that, it does make you question all sense of faith. And it's not,
'Cause you ask why.
you ask why over and over and over. And like, I don't want to get too personal, but like, man, I talked to Wyatt like every day. And the one day we couldn't talk, I literally had tossed my phone out of my own anger. And my phone screen didn't crack, but it disconnected a small cord inside of my fucking iPhone. And it made my screen black. So I was getting vibrations and I could tell when people would call me, but I couldn't see who it was. And I went the next day, and that was, one night that we couldn't talk. I went the next day at the Apple store. They opened it. They were like, that's crazy, man. This cord disconnected. That's really slim chances of that happening. And they reconnected it, and they gave me my phone back. And I woke, and I opened just to a slew of texts from the homie Andrew, just being like, Wyatt's dead. And this is how it happened. And this X, Y, and Z. And like, bro, I had never felt like so like, betrayed, like spiritually. Like, I was like, how the fuck
It's my phone disconnected.
could this be the one day? Yeah, how could this be the day? And like, I relived that day over and over in my head, being like, yo, man, if I just hadn't thrown my phone, I would have called him. Like, because we talked to each other that often. And I'm like, yo, I've gotten over it, but I've definitely had my thoughts of being like, how the fuck could you have my back or care about me like as like a spiritual overhead when you let this happen to me. And it's like, I have to remind myself, like, it's a big picture thing. You know, I found a lot of drive in my life moving forward, and I found a lot of passion chasing since he's been gone. Like, there's been a lot of strength that I've found from wanting more in my own life, not in a selfish sense, but in a way where I was like, man, like, there's more that I can do. And like, it's not to say that my own friend was a crutch, but like, he really set a fire in me, you know? So it's like, it's all cycle, it's all energy. But that song and the whole album in its entirety really made me be like, oh shit, like, I'm not the only one who has these thoughts. Like, you know, even the first verse of that song, he says, you know, I've been trying to cope, understanding some things that I know that I ain't meant to know. Pastor Priest, your ways are perfect, but sometimes, God, I don't know. And it's like, I've definitely it tested my faith hard. I'm not the most religious person, but I do believe in like something out there sending us this guidance. But man, bro hit the nail on this fucking album, man. We'll revert back, but I mean, starting straight from the intro, I think BJW didn't really prepare you for the way that this album was gonna hit. Like, I loved it, but I had no idea what I was in store for when I got into it, you know. You know, when he's like, this for Joey, Leon, nights in the back of the Nissan, this for the times when the nigga ain't ate, sleep in the dark, and he was like, when there ain't no food to feed on. And he's like, and he just started straight from that jump of like, yo, I came from fucking nothing. You know, she was Lois when I was Clark Kent, Joe Clark when I need someone to lean on, that's a fact. And then, bro, he changed that whole scheme when he's like, that's a fact, though. My backbone. Like, I done took some L's. You know what I mean? He's like, that shit. And then he gets right back into the depth when he's like, but nigga, when Najee passed, I couldn't handle that. Like, Black John Wick. On Wick, in fact, a nigga did snap when his dog died.
It's true.
I love his name dropping in the album, or like his, like the John Wick part. He does, a lot of people drop these names, and I'm like, bro, who is that? But every single name he dropped in this one, I was like, bro, I know who that is. Mm-hmm. So it just hits way harder.
He's very strategic about that.
I mean, yeah, like right off the bat when she said, I am, like when she was at her lowest, I was Clark Kent. Like the play on Lois. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, whoa, right off the bat.
This is what we're getting into.
I was like, right off the bat. And I was like, okay. He also, I think that's the same song when he was, when he said, I pray my legacy is more than my face on the shirt and some Hennessy.
Yeah, on BJW.
Yeah, and I was like, fucking right on.
You know what he said? It's like GTA, how they leave you ways to see your greatness, then cut it short. I pray my destiny don't get abbreviated on Naj. Yeah. He doesn't lose the cohesive energy of talking about his boy on almost the entire album. Yep. And it's like, I don't think you could do a really better commemorative project. Truthfully, it's been a long time since I've heard something be so touching and personal and so cohesive and not corny. Yep. That's the hard, masterful part about it.
He says, so high school was like messing up laundry, fucking with a colorful girl by the bleachers. It's like, bro, that wordplay, his wordplay is just top notch, bro. It's crazy. Even if it's just something simple as that.
I'm going to be dissecting this album for a minute.
I just saw that bar and I didn't even know that. I just read that. I was like, damn, that's hard.
I mean, yeah, I loved it. And then I think this album's most underrated factor is its cohesiveness. And it goes straight into Pandemic, which, like, you know, to be honest, you expect, like, oh, man, it's quarantine and someone dropped a song named Pandemic. What's that's going to be? And then he starts right off the bat and he's like, this might be my magnum opus. This might be the year I gained focus. I've been quarantining before the league got canceled, being more distant than I've been focused. And he's like, when he says, I find peace in the silence of corridors. The four walls do not abort the noise. Y'all outside staying in ain't new. I was born about 2 weeks post-mature. I was like, yo, oh my
staying in,
God, bro. And he even says, like, the four walls abort the noise. Yeah. Like, leading to another pregnancy bar and then leading into his post-mature birth. Like, bro, dude's wordplay, 11 out of 10.
So
like,
good.
Like, so brain breaking that, like,
I just read this again for the second time.
And you're
I'm
like, what the
I
fuck?
just found out. Yeah, I just learned a new bar, bro.
Like,
I love when that happens, by the way.
Was the same bar with,
The one that you sent me. Light killers through glass scopes. No niggas good with fiber optics or just fiber how they make shit happen.
Yeah, fiber.
Like
There's
fiber.
another fucking line though that there, and I forgot to take a note on it. I feel terrible, but it's not like
Bro,
it's lacking any. So.
It's not lacking any at all. Like, and then he jumps right into but the thing is, it's a balance of humble bars too, in the same way where it's like storytelling when he's like, I'll perform in front of mirrors and my girl way before the applause, niggas, I'm good inside. Like, he goes straight into the chorus, like he goes straight into that chorus. He's like, I'm good inside, I'm good on the link, you ain't gotta check in with me, I'm better than the last time, I'm on that time, I'm good inside, fuck what you think. Like, it's just like, he really tapped into this energy that wasn't corny about the pandemic, about being like, yo, and this ain't even about the pandemic. Like, I think that's what's cool about the name is like, it ain't even about the current times. It's like, bro, I've been sick.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
because he has been.
I keep reading it, bro. It's crazy.
That's what I mean. It's the type of shit where you just want to reread the lyrics over and over and over. And it has been a long time since I got an album like that, truthfully.
I'm really glad you put me on this dude.
What is it? And there's that one part where he's like, 4.93 rating, 5-star verses, something adding up to me. Got enough drive for my own rideshare app on the mic. I could make homes out of the beats. Like, he really just is all over the fucking place, bro. Like, the entire project is this tasteful bar out though. Whereas like it's definitely easy to
digest.
It's easy to digest, but it's not at the same time. Where it's like on a surface level, it's got lyricism you can understand. When you read it though, it makes it that much more special.
Yes.
It makes you be like, bro, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? You're
Tyson Fury, fucking Dante Wilder bar, the fucking.
That's what
Disney,
I mean.
The Disney bar with Pride Rock, like, man, this.
Yes, bro. But I also love when he's talking about like when he gets simple, when he's like, when he's like, this is a whole different type of pain. I done met a different side of Oz, humble haymakers, broke guards. I done got my Pride Rock hanging on at the different type of scars. Like you said, that's the Pride Rock bar. That's that Lion King bar.
Pride Rock.
It hit me different even just when he was like, I met a different side of Oz. Just like talking about himself. Because like I've been going through a lot of emotional transformation where I feel like I'm re-meeting myself in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Being like, damn, this is who you are. I've been having all kinds of subtle memories and deep memories too. Like now that I haven't been Blaze, I've been reappreciating so many parts of my life, like including like our brotherhood, bro. Like I recently told Willa, about like our history and just the nights on the couch and how like your house served as this crazy escape for me, even though your house was crazy itself.
Yeah, crazy as shit.
But your family accepted me because they knew that we were one and the same as brothers. They treated me like family. I would wake up to food. I would come home with you to food.
Yeah. And
they would be like, oh, well, you told us sir was with you, so we made him a plate.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, they'd be like, are you hungry? And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd be like, make something. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go in your kitchen. And they'd be like,
you're not a guest.
They'd be like, what? Yeah, at that point, they're like, you ain't a guest. Like, make some food.
You know
like,
where the food is.
You know where the rice is. You know where the fridge is. You know where the juice is. You know where, they would just be like, cook some shit.
Yeah, you cook some shit, man.
And like, I don't get the chance to say it often, but like, thank you, bro. Like, and that's like type of the shit that this album brings to my mind, is like, thank you, bro. Like you said, like people don't think about the ties they have until they're gone, but like I think about you two all the time. Like the year we lived together was one of the best years of my life, and we got to learn so much about each other.
I wish that year went by too fast, bro.
It did go too fast,
Too fast.
And the same with like our youth. It went by so fast that I don't think at the time we were thinking about the way that it impacted us. But I literally can't count the amount of nights you and I would go back to your house as if it was our own apartment. Yeah. And your parents would always be there for us. Yeah. Or your mom and your grandpa, everybody. Your grandpa and I didn't even speak the same language. Yeah. And he was cool as fuck to me always. Yeah. I remember waking up sometimes just being up, grab some Gatorade leftover that you fucking had or something, and just like being hungover and just like watching him gardening outside and being like, damn, he's just good human. Just out there like
5 in the morning in his 80s and 90s.
Yep. And your grandpa was just on clockwork. And like, I can't thank you enough for the memories, and like that's one thing I really,
We got
really
home safe every
we
night.
got home safe, bro. And like that's the one thing that I really feel in this album is his gratefulness for his connection to Naj. Like, it's so tapped in, bro. It's one of the realest albums I ever heard. Where I'm just like, bro, couldn't be lying about any of this. Like his heart is just
you
full
can't
on
make
his
any of
sleeve,
that.
leading to the next song.
It's full
And I think
circle.
this was one of the only songs that you actually were like on the fence about, Jeff.
Pandemic. You didn't like
No,
Pandemic?
not
not
Pandemic.
Pandemic.
Leading into Cabernet. So I'll say my
okay,
piece about it
okay.
first.
Oh, a Cabernet. My
I
bad.
think-
You didn't like Cabernet.
I think leading into it,
It's a very good love song.
it was great. Okay, so here's my thing. I see what Jeff's saying though. I don't know if the album needed a love song.
Yeah.
But I liked it because he transitioned from we're inside and everybody's inside during the pandemic in the quarantine way
what we
into positively staying inside
But this was
with
kind
his
of,
girl.
Yeah.
This was kind of, you know, he lost his best friend, but then he got married.
That's
yeah,
true.
he tells that in the intro. So that's
yeah.
kind of
And his
what
wife
like
knows.
that's literally what the album is titled. The joy comes in the morning, and I think what he meant by that was, you know, I lost one of the closest people that I'll ever meet in
But I
my
locked-
life, but I
locked
just
in.
locked in another one. Like it just came back around full circle. You know what I
I
mean?
do love that.
So when that kind of gave me a little goosebumps.
I do love that. I,
'Cause,
I
like,
get that.
When
And
I
that's
read
something
the,
I
when I
actually
read
passed.
the lyrics, it's just like when I read these lyrics, it makes me want to go home to my girl and just hug her.
Yo,
Feel that.
But this lyric here, it was on our Soundsponge Discord, but the lyric that really got me was the butterfly one, bro. Set a home for your wine glass. I'm watching time pass with your fine ass. My thoughts stuck at an intersection. Cocoons break in my midsection. Butterfly could look at you and look at I and know that you just shit despise the bullshit in our lives. Super digestible, but the cocoons break in my midsection. Butterfly.
butterfly.
Yes, when I read that, I
See,
was
that's
like,
one that passed
oh.
me. I didn't even. Okay.
You didn't hear that? I
the
thought you
Shutter
saw that
Home
when I
was
said-
corny though, man.
The Sutter Home one?
Ain't nobody drinking Sutter Home. I mean, we
Hey,
just went wine tasting.
But
so
it
we
goes
walked
down
into
to
the
his brokenness, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Not brokenness like he's
Sutter Home.
Yo,
already
I'm
broke,
not
but
saying that. Yo, I'm just saying, as grown adults, as a young child,
you don't want to drink that no more.
you don't want to drink that no more.
Please don't
Just like
bring
you
home
don't drink
it.
Alze, you don't drink
You
freaking
don't
Four
wanna drink-
Locos, you don't do any of that no more.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember
true.
as a youngin' drinking taking those big ass jugs of Colorasi and Sierra Mist and just fucking drinking that. And I remember
Carlo, I never
Ooh,
touched
Russ,
Carlo
Rossi,
again.
you mix them,
Oh, my
and then
fucking
I remember on my
God.
birthday when I turned 18, I went and watched the Biggie movie because that just came out, Notorious, and I had 5 bottles of Andre before I even went in.
Made me this face.
That's why I fucking hate, bro. That's why I hated King's Cup when we were kids, man. Someone ruined the potion quick with some cheap shit.
With some stuff that they're
my
just like,
I mean, cheap shit because we were didn't have that
Oh
much
my
money, man.
Did you ever,
God,
did you ever
bro.
lose? Did you ever lose?
Only a couple times, bro.
That's the worst.
That's the
I've
fucking
never
worst,
lost, but
bro.
I have been guilty of being that shithead that poured the Corona in all the liquor or
Hey,
something.
yo.
Like, of course, like, here, you motherfuckers, y'all gonna get this.
I'm gonna pour a lot of this because I'm already drunk.
Right,
Yep.
just pour the whole thing.
Have
'cause
the whole
you could pour
As much as
know,
you wanted to
Yo,
give.
And
Nick,
I'd pour the whole
Did you
damn
ever
thing.
hear? Were you drinking during the whole Four Loko situation?
I did get to try the Four Loko before they changed the formula.
Okay.
And I drank one.
I got you
I
hype.
drank one, and I yacked so
Hard.
much. It was so bad. I was faded.
Have you heard of the sidewalk
Mind
slam?
you, I'm sorry.
You talking
like,
sidewalks?
Sidewalk slam.
I wasn't.
Oh, you talking about?
I wasn't
the
legally
40s?
allowed to drink, but I did do Edward 40 hands too.
Oh, yeah.
So I was.
Okay.
I'm
Dude,
old enough to be in that era.
We
you know?
used the sidewalk slam together, bro.
So what you used to do with the OG Four Locos, you drink like a 40 to the bottom of the label where it's at, right? Then you take a Four Loco and
You
pour it
there?
in.
Y'all are crazy.
And
Y'all were
then-
disgusting.
And either
Y'all
you
are
were,
nasty.
and either you were slamming the sidewalk or you were slamming that bottle on the
Yeah,
sidewalk.
you would finish it and then you go, yeah, and
You're so
slam it on the
faded.
sidewalk on the grass. And Jeff and I, bro, I think we completed 2 or 3 of those
Yeah.
together, and we're
Yeah,
like,
that-
"Ah!"
Terrible kids. Terrible
And
kids.
then we get that Taco Bell and head home.
Yes, I was in the 40. I did come in the 40 drinking era a little bit. That was probably one of the worst nights when I was younger, because I drank a 40. I drank 2 40s, passed out. Come to find out, my friends took my car and went down 122nd like 100 miles an hour, and I had a dash cam at the time.
And you watched the footage.
And
later.
I watched the footage, and these drunk ass motherfuckers didn't even put their seatbelt on. They were wild, and I was pissed.
Yeah, because he could have lost his life.
Y'all could have fucked my car
Yo,
up.
we used
Yeah, no,
to.
fuck them.
And their
Y'all could have fucked my no, yeah, for real though. I mean,
Terrible.
I didn't tell my mom
Terrible.
that, but like, that was so bad, and they just left me, bruh.
My
They
homies,
didn't wake me up. I could have ridden with them or something.
Nyck and Forrest had an apartment over in Quitama, and that should just say enough. But we used to like, Forrest used to work at Lowe's, and he put together this dual 40 or dual beer bong.
Oh
Like,
god.
like it was legit.
Like a long one.
Like you, 2 of you guys would just do a beer bong, and we would put 2 40s in there and just could do that for like an hour straight between like
God.
6 of us.
Y'all are sick.
It was
We were terrible humans.
We're terrible humans.
I remember
I'm
we used to
glad-
beer bonging straight liquor. I remember the homie was like, "Yo, man, hit this fucking whiskey," and just beer bonging, fucking. Hey, we getting off the point though. We talking about our terrible choices. Sutter Home, don't drink it.
Don't drink Sutter Home.
I love this song though, because I also love when he's like, "And you the queen to my slimmy, you
Yeah,
know."
let's
Like
go.
I love that switch up because I'm sick of hearing about Bonnie and Clyde's pasty asses.
Me and my girlfriend.
Yeah, man. Say another way. Find another way to say you and your girl. It's okay. They don't gotta be Bonnie and Clyde. But moving forward, you know.
I think that the album did deserve at least one song about his.
Yeah, I mean,
his
you're
wife.
right. You're the one. You're right. I didn't even think of. I mean, I should have thought about that, but you're right because he brings it up multiple times, like about the importance of his marriage too, and going into the Oz, how are you interlude. I did love it as an entirety.
Yeah.
From Pandemic.
It gave me a lot of perspective.
Yep, from Pandemic to Cabernet into Oz, how are you? Because it's like, we're all in pandemic. And then here's what we can appreciate being locked down with our loved one. And then when he goes into how are you? And like right now, especially where it's like, I don't know how anyone's doing. You know, I'm blessed that we have the show. This is my bubble right here besides going to work.
Right.
Like, y'all are my social interaction. And it's like, I think I would probably be going a different level of fucking stress right now without this every week.
Of course.
And you know, she goes into how are you? And he's like, oh, I'm good. You know, like, and she's like, you sure?
All the time.
And
I
it's
tell
like-
my wife, I feel so sorry, but I do that all
And you
the time.
don't even. It's
I'm
it's just because, you know.
Sometimes I just don't want to tell you everything.
Well,
You don't
Exactly.
want to burden them.
And I be having these conversations with you with you guys when I'm not good.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times because I did exactly what you said. You don't want to burden your partner.
You gotta tell someone though.
You got to tell someone though. And I think that's what's cool is then he gets into the Moving Different song where he's like not talking his shit, but kind of talking his shit.
I like this because you gotta have one kind of rap more. I wouldn't say trap at all.
Yeah.
Or more hip hop, not
I mean, the whole Oz, how are you when he's talking about like drinking and praying and stuff like that.
Like,
That's
even-
a weird scenario.
His
dude.
simple bars though, even like I done got mad at the Damon. Ask why they draw a blank man like Matt Damon. Come on, man. That's funny as fuck. But he, like, you don't recognize it until you read it.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, oh, what the fuck? Like he really went into his shit. Like fuck a white collar, this black neck is more Mandarin. I never had the ties. I cut a nigga off quick. The more road rage than the burning sage. I ain't into all of that shit. Like he talks, you learn so much about him in one album. Is what's crazy.
like he's just he's just saying
He's
I
real, but he's not into like, you know, the
I ain't
super
with the I ain't with the
spiritual weird
yeah,
shit.
with
Like
that-
not weird, but like
that soft shit.
you know, he's not. You can tell that he's a hard dude. You know, like for social distance, I was giving niggas 6 feet. It ain't that deep, but can you dig it? Like,
Can you do it?
like I would kill you.
no, I will.
I was still
kick
giving you 6 feet.
right.
I gave you 6 feet.
Exactly. No matter how much you want a distance, and like, that's that shit, bro. Like he's really
He's next level.
nigga mixed Jeezy with the Olaf on God. Jeezy with the Snowman. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I didn't really. I'm trying to.
Olaf from fucking.
I know who
Yeah,
that,
Young
but,
Jeezy
like-
used to have the t-shirts. This is before your time.
Okay.
He used to have the t-shirts with the fucking snowman on
Snowman.
them. It was the type of shit where you get. Did you have one at school?
I didn't.
I remember, okay, it wasn't you. I had a homie that was like, yeah, I got banned from wearing that at school. And literally, it just used to be a snowman, but it was a mad snowman with the eyebrows. Just a classic ass snowman. And it was a cheesy. But the snowman stood for blow.
Yeah.
Because that used to be Young
Right.
Jeezy's old thing. And
I think I remember those sweats.
that's why I fuck with the Olaf box. I was like, oh, bro, come on, bro. Frozen? That's the ultimate snow. That's crazy, bro. Like, his bars are just, you can't, like, almost untouchable,
read the
bro.
verse 2 one.
You go ahead. You read it.
Master the tongue without changing faces. Turn Ipkiss off of lip service, and I ain't with the masquerade and shocking, ain't it? Tried to Johnny Cage him, and I didn't even get midway in. I
bro,
forgot.
the Johnny Cage in the midway bar.
I even
I was like, what's that noise? You were censoring niggas.
yeah,
but
my bad.
But no, you cool. Like, it's that.
Hey, you're the only one that can say that here.
Yeah. That fucking.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I am. I'm just kidding.
But midway,
The team of Mortal Kombat, they tried to Johnny Cage me, and I didn't even get midway in. Come on, bro.
My favorite part about Mortal Kombat was back in the day when it was like live people. You know what I mean?
The live,
Yeah,
like,
graphics.
ghetto CGI.
Yeah.
And the whoopsies. Bro,
Shit was dope.
oh my gosh.
well, he says, feel like Pac that night inside quad. I cheddar bob myself too much. Like, bro, Cheddar Bob from 8 Mile shoots himself in the
Yeah,
foot. Like,
Yo, but did you guys hear that wasn't even a real thing? Cheddar Bob wasn't a real person. He was like one of the really few fabricated things.
Really?
Come on, Come on,
I think it was just for like humor, because I mean,
He
if
was
you guys,
kinda just
you guys
that meme
remember
character.
8 Mile though? Because
yeah.
shit was just depressing, to be honest.
Honestly, all I remember was him getting on a stage and getting booed and then getting back on a
throwing
stage
up his
and
freaking
barring out.
Everybody in the 313
living in a trailer, fucking his girl cheating on him with those fucking like people that he thought he was cool with.
He gets
and
jumped.
all that shit gets jumped. Like it was just some fucked up shit. Even Busta Rhymes was in there. I forgot. He was like,
Yeah.
man, you get rap.
Man, moving on to the Air Murph, bro. I fucking love this track with the fucking the hand fucking beat, like the just the beating on the door with the rattle. That shit was hard,
That's
especially
his
it starts.
homie. Can you imagine they did an album together?
Bro, that's so dope, bro. Like, that's what I mean.
Wait,
that's
that's him,
That's
bro.
him. That's Naj.
Yeah, I'm
Like, loose laces in my kicks, I'm relaxed, perhaps. Screw faces in the mix, wanna crack the jack. Of all trades, always in the line of lights. Never silent, I wanna exercise my rights. Never violent, only track 8 of the Air Murph. Unless you deprive the truth and you dare, Murph. Wanna go to war, then I declare Murph to yo pole, yo cars. While you not prepared, sir. Infinite style, you stay feminine, wow. Like, bro, his homie, you could tell they were neck and neck together. That was their brother.
Yeah.
Like that was their shit,
You don't
bro.
let him. You don't get outbarred that hard. If you ever do, you're gonna come back. Like I'm gonna outbar you next time.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They were truly neck and neck, and like it's such a beautiful style. Well, the first time you listen to it, you just think that it's Oswin. Until you listen to it again, and you're like, man, the voice is a
Does
little.
Naj have music out?
The
Didn't
voice,
get a
is-
check.
the voice is a little different.
It was weird that he dropped it a year and a week after.
He passed.
Yes.
Yeah,
I wonder what the timing was behind that.
He hasn't.
I think he originally said he wanted to drop it on the day,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Have you listened to Air Murph?
no.
Like Naj's
Oh,
album?
send that to me,
2011?
bro. Send that to me. You know, and like, I think I mean, I don't want to speculate, but I mean, for me to drop something on the day that Wyatt died,
Wouldn't.
it'd be really
right.
hard, and like, it'd be hard for me to want to celebrate on such a day,
Yeah.
and not celebrate, but like in a way beyond focused on that. I wouldn't want to focus on myself.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't even want to promote it.
Yeah, so exactly. He probably wanted to separate that.
Yeah.
You know,
Keep it 2 different dates.
keep it 2 different dates, give them 2 different anniversaries. That makes a beautiful month, you know, and like
January is already a beautiful month.
like, rest in peace to his brother, man. Like is a beautiful process, you know. Straight after Air Murph, I think that's what I mean. The cohesiveness of the album, bro. He goes straight into talking to God, bro. That's my favorite song on the album, hands down. And I already said it a little earlier, but
Definitely
I mean, like,
the most touching.
it's the most touching, and like it definitely encapsulates the most feeling of how I felt losing my best friend too. And you know, I've got you guys my brothers too, so it's not like I don't have multiple best friends, but someone of that caliber, someone who I was prepared to share, you know, the rest of my life with, in victories and losses. One of my brothers, you know, in the same way that I'm prepared to share all of my life's stories with you guys. Like, y'all are family to me, where it's like it can't be replaced in any sense or way. And it's like, I don't like to say I have one best friend, because I got you, Nick, I got Jeff, I got Andrew out in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? Like, I got Brandon, but it's definitely a best circle.
Yeah. There's
Whereas
levels to this, and
there's levels, and no one supersedes anybody. But it's like, man,
You could tell that was his one of one.
that was his one-on-one. Exactly. And I'm blessed, and I thank God every day that I have more than one, because it's the type of way where it's like, man, you know, when I did lose Wyatt, if I didn't have my other brothers, I don't know what I would have done. I have almost gone mad from it. And this song is such a perfect moment of clarity for him to share his heart and to share his climb back to understanding.
Well, it's just like the last conversation you have with someone. And I don't think it ever goes, especially when you're younger. Your last conversation with someone never really is what you want it to be.
You never know.
You're not okay
You
with,
don't
like,
know.
you usually, no matter what, even if you're like, oh man, I'll see you tomorrow, like that in your head, that's not going to be enough.
No, yeah, you always be like, I wish
I would've
would've
told
asked
him
to
how much I
hang
loved him,
out.
or you know what I mean, and stuff
exactly.
like that.
Yeah. Like,
And it was weird because when my grandma passed, it was very sudden. We went in the hospital thinking everything was going okay, and then it's like, nope, she's terminal. She needs to get the surgery, or she's going to pass away in a few weeks. And she was like, I'm not doing surgery. So we went in the hospital thinking she was getting a checkup, passed away. Just fucking complete heartbroken. Family, huge family. My mom is one of 9, my dad's one of 6. So like, just huge family.
Oh, wow.
Just huge loss everywhere. I still remember the days, like my grandfather like told everyone like, we're not gonna do the surgery, because she told me she didn't want to do the surgery, and she's like, she's gonna die here. And it was fucking hurtful, because it's like, why do you get to make the choice? And like, you know, as a kid, as a teenager,
yeah.
like, you can't make that choice. Like, she doesn't want, you know, my grandma raised me, like, so it's really hurtful. And with that being said, I just remember talking to her and like not having conversation, but just telling her things. I'm like, yo, like, you're gonna live through this. In my head, like, you're gonna live through this. Like, you're a fucking, you know, you're a fucking god. You know what I mean? Like, you just live through this. And when she didn't, I just remember I was like, why didn't I just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, which was a complete flip flop with my grandfather. He was on hospice, and he, you know, he lived to be 94. We went in there. Yeah, he went in there and the hospital, and he was like, yeah, my stomach hurts. And we went in there. They said, yo, my heart, like, they're like, the calcium in your body started depositing in one of the main arteries of your heart. So we can do all these types of surgeries, but, you know, it's very high risk for your age. And he's just like, nah, man, I'm ready to die. Like, he's been ready to die. He was ready to die when my grandmother passed away. So I remember, like, he was like, yeah, I'll just do hospice. Like, I don't care. Like, blah, blah, blah. It's fine. So he got to go out on his own terms. He was literally cleaning the house the day he passed away. They only gave him a week. He ended up living freaking a month and a half on hospice. I remember the day because I spent the night there, and I spent the night at my mom's house every day, because I was like, I know I was gonna like lose him soon, right? And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna see you like after work, and I knew it. I fucking knew it, and I did see him after work. I just remember sitting there, and like, it was just getting harder and harder, and my sister was about to leave, and I was like, I don't think you should leave. And she's like, I don't think I should either. And then when he passed away, like, I just remember knowing, I was like, being an adult and being more like put together, I was able to say, like, you know, I love you. I know I'm going to see you again. And like, don't stay here for us. Like, just go be with grandma. And it was fucking so nice that I got to say that. Fucking hurt, but I was so happy that when losing someone so close, I was able to leave on those terms. And you don't get that a lot.
Yeah.
And so you just got to enjoy every day, man. You just got to enjoy every day.
Yo, man, I fucking love you, bro. Like, I learned a lot from your grandpa, man. I was blessed to know him. And like, I think it's even more blessed to know that like he created a lot of who you became, you know, like,
Appreciate that, man.
and that's something that a lot of people don't get the inner insight to know. And I fucking love you for having that strength. And you know, there's tons of parts that you've told me about your emotional journey through that. I think that's what makes a project like this album so special. Not even reverting back to the music, but even touching back to your life. You know, like it makes you remember those moments and appreciate them.
I'm really glad you got
You
to
know,
say that.
it makes you appreciate. I know that you appreciate that day every day.
I got to say goodbye
Like-
on my terms, man.
Even like, you know, with your grandma, like I remember how connected your family always stayed.
Yeah.
Like I've literally been with you next to you getting served dinner. You've been like, don't eat yet. I need to put some food on the mantle for my grandma.
Yeah.
And being like, okay. And literally not